Hey everybody, it's John King. I'm here with my weekly market update. So I'm doing these as a live stream once a week on Fridays, just catching up on what's happening with the industry, what's happening with housing and mortgage. And so let's dive into my real quick update for this week. So first of all, credit report costs. Credit report costs went up significantly in January of 2022. And then they went up, actually 2023, excuse me. And then they went up significantly again in January of 2024. What the heck is going on? Well, first and foremost, it's a monopoly. And there's a few credit companies that control all of this for mortgage credit reports, and we have to get the information from them. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion are driving up the cost of credit reports because, well, they can. And so ultimately what's happening is we've got people who are controlling the cost of credit reports. And last year when they raised those costs, we ended up, hey, you know what? A lot of lenders said, fine, I'm going to use soft credit pulls. And I'm going to pull credit based upon your not doing a regular hard credit because it was a lot cheaper. We could do soft credit pulls for $2 or $3 per person. And so in January 24, they said, nope, we don't want that anymore. We want to make sure that you don't get away with just doing a soft credit for really cheap. And so they've raised the price of the soft credit to pretty much match the price of the hard credit. Yet they said we can't pass that fee along to the borrower because we can't use the soft credit to buy a home. We can only use the soft credit in order to get an idea of what we can do. And so now it's created a catch-22 for the industry because we were paying the cost of the soft credit reports because it was a lot less expensive and it was a way to make it easier for the consumer. Now we're paying just as much money. It's about $45 per person on average, $15 per credit report to do a soft credit. And then you've got another $45 per person to do the hard credit once it's time to move forward on the loan. And it's cost prohibitive. And so a lot of lenders are contemplating maybe we don't do soft credit anymore because I can't charge them for it anyway. And that's a pretty expensive cost. Also, a lot of lenders are looking at saying, we can't even front that cost because let's be real. If I pay the cost of the soft credit and then I pay the cost of the hard credit for 10 people and only 2 of them end up completing a transaction because the pull-through rate, the percentage of people completing the transaction compared to those that started is really low right now. And the reason for that is because rates are high and affordability is tough. They also are having a hard time finding a home and getting something that suits their needs because there's not a lot of inventory. So it creates a catch-22 that says if I pay for those 10 credit reports and I only collect back reimburse on 2 of them and only for the hard credit portion, how do I cover the rest of the cost of those credit reports? I have to charge everybody more. Is that really a solution you want? So there's a lot of companies, including mine, that are starting to shift the thinking and saying, you know what? Let's just start charging each person for their credit report because then you're just paying for your own and I don't have to charge the few people that succeed in buying a home end up carrying the cost of everybody else. That's not right. And so we're shifting some of that thinking and really repositioning it. Look, it's no different than when you go to rent an apartment and you've got to have your credit checked and they charge you up front for your credit pull. Because it's you who wants to have your credit pulled. And so they're going to charge you for that. That's not a big deal. Just be aware that more and more lenders, we're not mandating it in a lot of cases, but there are some cases right now where we are mandating it, depending upon lots of different circumstances. But the simple answer is be prepared. Credit report costs have gone up and they're going to continue to become an issue this coming year. Second thing about going up, interest rates. Interest rates have moved up in the last week, which is silly on how rates are reported. Because you got a notice yesterday from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, if you looked online, and they published their weekly market interest rate. And they said rates on average are at 6.6%. Well, rates, that was the average based upon Monday, because they did the survey on Monday, they published the results on Thursday. Between Monday and today, rates have moved up about 0.25%. Now, 6.6 wasn't the right number. That's an average. But the average has moved up about 0.25% this week. Why? First of all, does that mean rates aren't going down? No, it just means that nobody knows the future for sure. But even if they are going down, it's never a straight line down. It's going to be a bumpy road, and this is one of those bumps. The reason is because employment numbers are looking stronger, And that's getting Wall Street and specifically the bond market and the mortgage market to question, hey, maybe the Fed's not going to lower rates as much as we thought. The Fed said, based on their charts that they put out last month, that they think they're going to lower rates around 3 times this year. But a few of the Fed members said as many as 6 times that rates would go down. And so Wall Street said, oh my gosh, rates are going down 6 times. And they put all their bets on rates dropping 6 times. Now they're pulling that back a little bit and saying, ooh, maybe we're over optimistic. So it's just something to be aware of, that the market is going to pivot back and forth. We're going to run into that. All right, next thing I want to talk about, Dream for All, California Dream for All. Super excited. Yesterday, the rules were released. I did a live stream yesterday on what those rules are. If you missed it, the link you can get, it should be down below. If not, email us, we'll get you the link. But anyway, Dream for All, I have a webinar coming up that is going to be on February 12th at 7 p.m. And it's going to talk all about the program and how to get yourself qualified. The lottery is going to open up sometime in March or April. You'll have about 30 days to get your lottery submission put in, and then they'll be picking people at some point once the lottery pool closes. So I don't have a lot of information on the timing of the lottery, but I have all of the details on the rules, who qualifies based on being a first-time home buyer, a first-generation home buyer, lots of unique things. So check out that video from yesterday. Subscribe to my webinar. You can go to CaliforniaDreamForAll.info, CaliforniaDreamForAll.info, and you can register for that webinar and learn more information about that program. Couple of other things. First of all, as the housing market heats up, we're seeing it. I'm seeing the housing market heat up. Just recognize we're going to see fewer price cuts. We're going to see the inventory that's been stale and sitting on the market. It's going to get eaten up a lot quicker. And I'm seeing already some bidding that's happening in certain pockets of housing, certain price ranges, certain neighborhoods where we've got a lot more bidding going on. So the market is definitely heating up. And what you're going to see is fewer price reductions, fewer seller concessions, fewer people giving credits towards closing costs. Really, it's going to be a mixed bag as we head into this year of 2024. The final thing is a bit of speculation, and that is that 3 days ago, the commissioner of the FHA was on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and she was being grilled about lots of different things. And it was about a 6-hour testimony. And she had all of these Congress people that were asking her questions and digging. And towards the end of the testimony, one congressman asked a question and said, hey, FHA requires mortgage insurance to be paid for the entire life of the loan. And I don't understand why we have to do that. And are you willing to fix that? And her answer was, yes, I'm willing to look into that. And we'll see. Now, does that mean anything? I don't know. Maybe she was super tired after 6 hours of testimony and just wanted to tell him what he wanted to hear. Maybe she's already been thinking about it, or maybe it just planted a seed in her mind that she is willing to consider it. I don't know. But that's a really big deal because FHA, starting back in 2013, said, hey, if you put less than 10% down at the time you purchase the home, your mortgage insurance is there forever. No matter what, no matter how much equity you have in the property, no matter how much you pay down the balance, you're paying that mortgage insurance for the entire life of the loan. And if you put more than 10% down, you have to pay the mortgage insurance for at least 11 years, which is kind of the entire life of the loan, since the average loan lasts anywhere from 4 to 6 years before somebody sells or refinances that loan. But the bottom line is, FHA has the opportunity to align themselves more with conventional loans where you can get rid of your mortgage insurance after a few years and after you have 20% equity. The biggest question mark is, even if they do this, are they going to grandfather the people that did their loans between 2013 and that change? Or are they only going to allow the people who actually took out new loans starting after that change date? The problem is you got a lot of people who have loans right now. I talked to a client this morning. She has enough equity in the property, but she took out an FHA loan. She's got a good interest rate, so she doesn't want to refinance, but she can't get rid of that mortgage insurance. And so it's something to be aware of as this market is continuing to be in flux, that there's things that I want to keep you informed of that are out there that are speculation, but they're on the radar. And I want to share them with you as quickly as I can. Thanks for joining me, guys. Hope everybody has an absolutely wonderful weekend. If there's anything I can do to serve you from a mortgage perspective, you can click my website or the QR code right there and start the process. And I would love the opportunity to serve you or anybody that you know. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.